guys, but I think it is a great sales pitch. If you can pull it off, it's incredible to have. Like, you have Harbaugh at Michigan. It's like, what better sales pitch is there? Like, I went here. Like, I thought this was the best school. So if you can do that, it's not the most important thing. But that's why Tennessee fans, if Brent Venables doesn't work out, I don't know. Oklahoma could be knocking on Josh Heupel's door. Who knows?
There's bad blood there still. I don't think it
between Heupel and Oklahoma.
Yeah, he was fired. Like I'm not worried about the Oklahoma thing with him. Everything I've heard is that if Heupel were to not work out long term, it's because the NFL gave him a job. Like, if he leaves, I think it's an NFL job. I don't think Heupel would leave Tennessee and the resources here for any other job right now. I think a college job. It's an NFL job that would pull him.
Could be.
There you go. The most underrated player, Matt Green, in the conference. I have Michael Penix Jr. Who do you have?
I would say this guy was the most overrated player going into the 2022 season, and he came out of it the most underrated player. That's Cam Rising.
Cam Rising, we are completely different on this.
Cam Rising was getting like Heisman love and like dark horse, and he wasn't that guy. Like, you're not that guy, pal, you know? But I feel like people kind of started to poo-poo Cam Rising last year. And all he does is win, man. Back-to-back Pac-12 championships. He's a gamer, makes plays with his legs. He's a tough quarterback, and he's still a pretty solid passer. He's not a Heisman winner, but you kind of recalibrate. You're like, okay, he's not a Heisman type quarterback, but he's still a really good quarterback, and Utah's a really good team. So I feel like he kind of went from overrated to underrated. So yeah, give me Cam Rising.
That's fascinating because I actually have Cam Rising as the most overrated player.
Oh,
This is brutal. Apologies to the Rising family. He was 10th in the Pac-12 in passing last year. He was 9th in 40-plus yard passes among all quarterbacks in the Pac-12 last year. He was 5th in the conference in total QBR. You just look up and down where I'm like, nah, Dorian Thompson-Robinson was elite. Bo Nix was elite. Caleb Williams
what are your passing numbers? Because, I mean, this guy was 26 touchdowns to 8 picks. I mean, this was a loaded conference with quarterbacks, too. So is being 8th in some, like, what is he 8th and 9th in?
He was like maybe the 6th, 7th best quarterback in his own conference. I just don't think Utah, you lose at Florida. There was some dumb stuff there. I think Utah is like this machine, and obviously Dalton Kincaid and their dual tight end sets and just how physical they are all across the board matters. But I feel like Utah wins. They're in a weird way like the bizarro Heupel Vols, where it's like they can just plug because their identity is so sewn up everywhere else, where it's like Whittingham's been there so long, he's established his culture, their defense first, ground and pound, physical, we're going to put in the tight ends, we're going to knock the crap out of you. Like, you just have to be a pretty competent quarterback. Like, they put dudes in Huntley right before him who had a lot of success at Utah. Like, I don't think it really matters who plays quarterback at Utah. I think Utah's just going to walk into 9 or 10 wins. I don't think it matters. I think Cam Rising was solid.
They're definitely a very solid, like, identity and everything like that. But I mean, you look at their running game last year. Like, they had a few guys but they didn't have a star. Like, they had a couple guys that, like, 3 different guys had 500 yards rushing last year. One guy had over 600. Like, Cam Rising had 460 himself. Like,
can you name a game where they won because of Cam Rising? I can name games that Michael Penix won for Washington, that Caleb Williams won for USC. Like,
but I'm saying, I'm not going to say Michael Penix, or I'm not going to say Caleb Williams is underrated. Like, he's a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah.
I think Bo Nix got a lot of love. I think even Michael Penix got a lot of love. I think Cam Rising was talked about, but like you just said, there's so many good quarterbacks in this conference. I think being like the 8th one doesn't necessarily mean you aren't good. Like, this guy threw 26 touchdowns, 8 picks, 64% completions. Like, threw for 3,000 yards. Like, it's not like he was bad. Like, he just wasn't like the Heisman, like, national championship quarterback. Like, that I think I predicted Utah to go to the playoff preseason last year. He was 20-5 touchdowns to picks, but I think he didn't start like 3 or 4 games last year. So it was kind of like people were kind of extrapolating, like, okay, what can he do as the full-time starter? and he didn't. I mean, he was better, but he's good. He's just not great. And so I think he gets. And you're proving my point. I think he gets a little too much hate because of it.
I don't know, man. He's fine. Utah's just fine with whoever it is under center. I'm just not really worried. If I was Utah, I wouldn't worry about quarterback. I would just give no money in NIL to quarterback. Just be like, we're putting it on the offensive line, tight end.
But you're acting like he's like Trent Dilfer over here. Like he was. I mean, he's been really good the last couple of years.
I wouldn't say he's really good. I think he's okay. Rising's fine. He's fine. You know who's really good? Bo Nix is really good. Caleb Williams is really good. Michael Penix is really good.
Last 2 years, he's thrown 46 touchdowns and 13 picks. That's a really good quarterback.
I don't know. He just doesn't do it for me. He doesn't move the needle, Matt Green. He's fine.
That's fair. I mean, in terms of if I'm ranking them like preseason, like he might not still be in the top 5, but this Pac-12 is pretty loaded with quarterbacks. You want my most overrated player?
Yes.
My most overrated is Tanner McKee because this guy got drafted.